The streets are going crazy right now. I'm talking straight chaos. Twitter, Reddit, and even barbershops are buzzing. You'd think this whole King Von versus Quando Rondo saga was finally cooling down. But nope. Out of nowhere, Lil Tim. Yes, the same Lil Tim tied to the Von shooting, just dropped claims that got everybody side-eyeing their own homies. And get this, Offset's crew is somehow mixed up in the whispers. Yeah, you heard me. There's a leaked voice note floating around, and it sounds like somebody close to Offset said, "Don't let him leave alone." Bruh, the internet is calling it a setup. Offset even unfollowed Lil Baby right after. And then, boom, IG posts started vanishing like they never existed. Bree, Baby's assistant, slipped up with a story that had people screen recording faster than the FBI. So here's the real question. Is this just rap politics? Or did we just witness a betrayal that flips the entire King Von story upside down? Because fam, it's not the leak that's wild. It's what happened after the studio session that's got everyone talking. Alright, so before we even touch the leak, and all the wild conspiracies flying around, we gotta rewind. Because this ain't some overnight beef. This Offset x Lil Baby tension been bubbling for years, and the studio session that night, bruh, it was not just music. It was history, paranoia, and low-key betrayal all mixing together in one room. See, Offset and Lil Baby were supposed to be Atlanta brothers. Same city, same industry circle, both tied to quality control one way or another. Baby blew up heavy under QC, while Offset, fresh off the Migos wave, was navigating solo moves, label drama, and his marriage constantly being dragged online. For years, people thought Baby was the new face of Atlanta, while Offset was still fighting to prove he wasn't just Quavo's cousin in the shadow of Culture One. That little ego clash, it never went away, and the fans remember, back in 2020, Offset and Baby weren't even following each other on IG for a whole season. People chalked it up to label politics, but behind the scenes, folks were saying Offset didn't like how Baby was being positioned as the golden child, while Migos was stuck in contract hell with QC. Fast forward to this year, suddenly Offset and Baby back in the studio. To the public, it looked like Atlanta unity. Pictures dropped on the blogs, Offset with the iced out chain, Baby pouring lean into a double cup. The vibe looking like a brotherhood moment. But if you were really tapped in, you could see it. Something was off. A source close to the crew, someone who was literally in the studio that night, said Baby was paranoid the whole session. Not like regular rapper paranoid where you just keep your blick close. Nah, this was that twitchy energy. Looking over his shoulder, checking his phone, whispering to his assistant Bree like something was wrong. The source said, it felt like Baby knew something was about to happen. Like he wasn't comfortable in his own camp. Offset, meanwhile, was moving cool, but that fake cool, laughing too loud, dapping everyone up, but constantly checking who walked in and out of the room. That's the type of energy that makes you wonder, is this a link-up for music, or a setup for something else? And then you add the history. Lil Baby already had quiet tension with certain members of Offset's extended crew. Old street whispers about money owed, somebody not showing up to handle something, and loyalty lines being blurred. That's the kind of backstory that doesn't trend on Twitter, but it matters when you're in a studio full of dudes who don't fully trust each other. The vibe that night was like, heavy. Bree posted a quick snap to her private IG story, Baby looking down at his phone, Offset smirking in the back. The caption? Just 3 side-eye emojis. She deleted it after like 10 minutes, but screenshots always live forever. Fans dug it up later, and looking back, it feels like foreshadowing. Because here's the thing, in rap, a studio session ain't just music. It's politics, it's power, it's alliances forming and breaking in real time. And on that night, everyone in the room felt like something bad was about to happen. People said Baby barely laid down any vocals, kept making excuses to step out, whispering in the hallway. Offset kept the energy up, but you could tell, neither of them trusted each other fully. And the craziest part? Nobody left that studio thinking it was just another night. Everybody felt the tension, the paranoia, and the weight of history pressing down. Like the King Von situation was casting a shadow in real time. And whatever went down next was about to get messy. The next morning, the internet woke up to what might be the shortest but most dangerous leak in Atlanta rap history. 4 seconds. That's all it was. A grainy, muffled voice note bouncing around Telegram groups, Twitter spaces, and Discord servers like contraband. 4 seconds that had people yelling, "Set up!" before their coffee even kicked in. the clip, you hear background chatter, a door creak, and then a voice that sounds way too much like Offset's cousin Michi saying, "Don't let him leave alone." Bruh. That line set the whole culture on fire. Twitter instantly exploded with the hashtag #Offset setup. People were running wild with theories. Was he talking about Baby? Was this recorded at the studio session? Or was it connected back to the King Von situation? Some fans swore it was an old clip. Others pulled out receipts claiming Michi was definitely at the studio that night, posting a blurry background shot of a man in a grey hoodie behind Offset during a live stream. Internet detectives did frame-by-frame analysis, like it was the JFK tapes. One thread that hit 20k likes in 2 hours literally slowed the audio down and showed the waveform like it was CSI. A user tweeted, "Listen at 002, the consonant pattern matches Michi's past IG lives. You're blind if you don't hear it." Another fan went deeper, comparing the reverb in the clip to the acoustics of QC's bunker studio. They swore the ventilation hum in the background matched the same hum you hear in Lil Yachty's vlog from 2021. Like, bro, this is the kind of sleuthing the FBI wishes it had. And then DJ Academics jumped in, because of course he did. He went live on Twitch with the leak looping in the background, sipping Henny and saying, "Yo, chat, this looking crazy. Don't let him leave alone." That's not friendly talk, chat. That's not some bro love. That sound like a chess move. Axe reaction alone was enough to send it nuclear. Blogs like Say Cheese and No Jumper reposted the clip within minutes. By lunchtime, TikTok had 10 different explainers, breaking it down with spooky music and red circle edits. The theories only got wilder. Some people claimed Michi was warning Offset to protect Baby. Others flipped it, saying, "Don't let him leave alone" meant isolate Baby. "Don't let him leave with his team, make him vulnerable." A darker corner of Reddit even tied it back to Von, saying this was the same type of coded language used the night Von got caught slipping. Meanwhile, the actual music industry folks, dead silent. No confirmations, no denials. That silence? It only made the conspiracy grow louder. One viral TikTok showed Baby in the studio video looking nervous, then cut to the audio clip like it was the missing puzzle piece. Caption read, "This ain't paranoia, this was prophecy." 500,000 views in 24 hours. And to make things even spicier, Michi himself tried to clap back. He went on IG Live late at night mumbling, "Y'all trippin', man. That ain't even me. I don't know what tape you're listening to. Niggas be cloning voices now." But instead of calming things down, that just made fans say, "Why you sound defensive though?" It was too late. The streets already believed it. The phrase, "Don't let him leave alone" became meme-fied, printed on fake t-shirts, and turned into captions under shady subtweets. Even Baby's own fans started spamming his comments with side eyes. Because here's the truth. Sometimes it's not the length of the leak, it's the timing. 4 seconds was all it took to shift the entire narrative. What started as a studio session between 2 Atlanta heavyweights had turned into a possible betrayal story, and everybody was waiting to see what evidence dropped next. If the leak was the gasoline, social media was the match. Because right after Samag Offset setup started trending, people noticed something strange. Posts were disappearing. Shady captions, weird unfollows, random likes. Bro, it was like everyone in the circle suddenly forgot the internet never sleeps. The first shot came from Bree, Lil Baby's assistant. Bree's always been messy. Half personal assistant, half PR nightmare. She hopped on IG story with a black screen and the text, "Funny how tables turn." No emojis, no tags, just vibes. Within 15 minutes, she deleted it. But of course, screenshots flew across Twitter faster than Drake unfollowing Joe Budden. That one post made fans lose it. Threads popped up instantly. Was Bree confirming Baby got set up? Was she throwing shade at Offset? Or was it about something totally different and she just got caught in the crossfire? Didn't matter. The internet decided it was a clue. Then came the second bomb. People realized Offset had unfollowed Lil Baby on IG. Quietly. No announcement. Just one of those moves where you notice it on a Tuesday morning and suddenly it's front page gossip. For 2 guys who are supposedly brothers in Atlanta unity, that single unfollow hit harder than a diss track. Twitter detectives pulled receipts. Baby was still following Offset, but Offset dipped. Fans started tweeting fake screenshots of DMs, captions like, "Offset ain't real," and QC snake season. One meme showed Offset holding Baby's chain with the caption, "Don't let him leave alone." It was messy, And while that was happening, Lil Yachty decided to stir the pot, accidentally or not. He liked a random tweet that said, "Crazy how your ops be the ones closest to you." Bro, you can't make this up. Within an hour, screenshots of Yachty's like hit every blog. He unliked it later, but that only made it worse. Fans dragged him into the conspiracy like, "Oh nah, Yachty knows something." By the end of the day, Twitter threads looked like FBI corkboards. People were drawing arrows between Bree's IG story, Offset's unfollow, Yachty's like, and even old videos of Baby looking uneasy around Offset months ago. One viral tweet read, "This Von energy all over again." When the people closest move weird, that's when you know it's deeper than rap. And then, in the middle of the chaos, something eerie happened. Random fan pages started posting screenshots of Offset's old IG captions, stuff about loyalty, snakes, brotherhood, posts from 2019-2020, resurfacing like evidence. Someone tweeted, "Offset been telling y'all he don't trust these dudes. We just ain't listen." Meanwhile, Bree tried to walk it back. She posted later, "Stop reading into everything. You're weird. But come on, once you delete something, the internet don't forgive." People were like, "Girl, you said what you said," and Baby stayed silent. Not one comment, not one subtweet, just lurking. And silence in this climate? That's like blood in the water. Fans decided his silence meant guilt, pain, or plotting. To make things even spookier, random IG burner accounts started popping up claiming to be insiders. One account posted, "Y'all don't even know half the story. Studio cameras got wiped clean that night. Ask who paid the engineer." That one tweet alone racked up 30k likes and had blogs foaming. The whole thing turned into chaos theater. Deleted stories getting treated like murder. Evidence.Offset's unfollow analyzed like it was a chess move. Yachty's like turned into a conspiracy rabbit hole, and random fan pages pushing the "this is bigger than Baby versus Offset" narrative. By midnight, the streets weren't just talking about a leak. They were whispering about an actual plot, a setup, something darker. And the scariest part? The real players, Offset, Baby, QC, Michi, none of them were saying a word, just deleting, unfollowing, and leaving fans to connect dots that maybe weren't even there, or maybe were exactly there. When the screenshots, the unfollows, and Bree's shady post hit the internet, it wasn't just gossip anymore. It turned into a vibe shift. You could feel the tension in the culture. This wasn't rap beef in the traditional sense. It was betrayal, isolation, and brothers quietly becoming enemies. The first real emotional crack came from Lil Baby himself. Out of nowhere, he hopped on Twitter. No promo, no rollout, just raw emotion. The tweet? "I'm good off everybody." 4 words. That's it. But in rap culture, 4 words can shake the entire room. Fans instantly tied it to the studio drama. Blogs screenshotted it within minutes, and "that's to good off everybody" became a trending hashtag. People were posting memes of Baby standing alone in dimly lit rooms with captions like, "Trust nobody." Then Offset hit back, not with a direct shot, but with a performance. He posted a video from the studio on IG. He's laughing, joking, sipping something, music blasting in the background. On the surface, it looked like all good vibes. But fans weren't buying it. One comment with 20k likes read, "That laugh sound fake af. He hurt low-key." A source close to Baby's camp described it even darker. They said Baby was sitting in the corner of the studio the night after the leak, scrolling his phone non-stop. Didn't speak, didn't smile, just shook his head and mumbled, "Nuns really move like that." The source claimed you could feel his disappointment more than his anger. And honestly, that's the fallout that hits hardest, when you thought somebody was a brother, and then the streets start whispering that maybe they weren't. Behind the scenes, QC was starting to fracture. Some people stayed loyal to Baby, others drifted toward Offset. Old wounds reopened. Remember, Offset and QC already had a messy breakup years ago. Lawsuits, contract disputes, whispers of betrayal. Now all of that history was resurfacing like ghosts. Yachty, who had already fueled the fire with his messy tried to play neutral. He went live on Twitch playing Call of Duty, ignoring questions, just laughing awkwardly when chat spammed what Offset setup. But fans weren't letting him escape. Comments flooded. "We saw the bro. You chose a side." Meanwhile, Bree, Baby's assistant, doubled down on her messy energy. Even after telling fans to stop reading into things, she posted a cryptic quote on IG 2 days later. "When people show you who they are, believe them. That story lasted 5 minutes before it got deleted, but the screenshots, already viral. Offset's camp responded in their own shady way. One of his cousins posted a story with the caption, "Loyalty ain't a trend. It's in you or it's not." Another Offset affiliate tweeted, "Funny how the loudest ones ain't never did nothing." Fans dissected both posts like prophecy scrolls, trying to figure out who they were aimed at. But here's the thing, nobody was speaking directly. No names, no diss tracks, just cryptic tweets, deleted stories, and fake smiles. And in rap, that's worse. That's when you know the emotions are raw, because instead of putting it on wax, they're holding it in. The emotional fallout wasn't just online either. Sources say the QC officers felt like a civil war. Meetings got awkward. Some folks wouldn't sit in the same room. People stopped reposting each other's music. Even fan accounts noticed. QC's official page wasn't pushing baby content as hard that week. It was subtle, but it was there. And the fans, they ate it up. TikTok was flooded with edits, showing baby's sad face, from old interviews with captions like, "When your brother snakes you." One viral video had Von's "Took Her to the O" playing over Offset and baby footage with the words, "History repeating itself." The emotional fallout hit the streets too. People in Atlanta started whispering about how divided things were. Old friends stopped showing up at the same clubs. Baby's crew started rolling heavier, like they didn't trust being caught slipping. Offset's side started flexing more on live, like they were daring people to question their loyalty. What made it hit even harder was the silence from the top dogs. No official QC statement, no public reconciliation, just vibes. And vibes don't lie, because this wasn't about music anymore. It was about trust, about family, about that feeling when somebody you thought was down for life starts moving weird. And when it happens in the rap game, the fallout doesn't just stay behind closed doors. It bleeds onto timelines, into lyrics, into real-life danger. And right now, it felt like both Offset and Baby were teetering on the edge. Too hurt to squash it, too paranoid to trust, too emotional to let it slide. And then, just when the emotions were at their peak, the story flipped again. Because a new plot twist dropped that made everybody question if this was even about Baby and Offset, or if something way darker was in play. Just when people thought the leak and the unfollows were the peak of the drama, boom, out of nowhere, a new clip dropped that sent the entire culture spiraling. And this one? Way scarier than a 4-second voice note. It started on a random Twitter account with like 800 followers. They posted a link to a Google Drive file titled Offset Plot AI'd MP3. At first, nobody paid attention, but then a big rap blog retweeted it, and once folks pressed play, the internet couldn't unhear it. The audio was almost a minute long. The voice sounded exactly like Offset, calm but calculated, saying lines like, "He don't move unless we let him. Don't clear nothing till I say so." Bruh. It was chilling. Instantly, fans screamed, "Smoking gun!" But then the debate started. Was it real or was it AI? TikTok detectives got to work immediately. One user slowed the voice down 30%, claiming the inflection matched Offset's speech patterns perfectly. Another posted side-by-side waveforms comparing this plot clip to Offset's interview on The Breakfast Club. They swore the peaks and valleys were identical, but the counter-argument was just as loud. "Nah, this gotta be AI, too clean, too convenient." This is deepfake season. People pointed out how easy it is now to clone voices with a few minutes of audio. Someone even uploaded their own fake clip using Drake's AI voice as proof of how believable it can sound. Still, the damage was done. Fans weren't debating if Offset said it. They were debating why he would say it. The narrative was shifting from studio tension to premeditated sabotage. And then the rabbit hole got deeper. A new DM leak hit Twitter. Screenshots showed a conversation between an anonymous account and a studio engineer. The anonymous account allegedly offered the engineer $5,000 to delete surveillance footage from the night Baby and Offset were in the studio. The message read, "Baby and Offset were in the studio." The message read, "Make sure no copies exist. I'll handle the rest. $5K upfront, more later." The engineer allegedly replied, "I already wiped it. Don't bring this back up, bro." Fans lost their minds. If that DM was real, it wasn't just rap beef. It was a cover-up. People started connecting dots. The original 4-second leak. Breeze, shady post. Offset unfollowing Baby. Yachty's messy like. Now this AI-sounding clip and a DM suggesting footage was destroyed. It didn't feel like paranoia anymore. It felt like a storyline straight out of Power. Conspiracy Twitter started going nuclear. One thread claimed this wasn't Offset moving on his own. This was label-level sabotage. They pointed to QC's long history of contract disputes and shady backroom deals. Another said Baby was becoming too powerful, and Von's death had already proven how valuable narrative control is for labels. A viral TikTok edit with 1.2 M views literally said, "This is bigger than Offset. This is industry chess." Even mainstream media started sniffing around. Complex ran a piece titled "Offset versus Baby, Beef or Business," while the Shade Room kept reposting fan conspiracies like they were news. And here's the craziest part. Offset's team tried to dismiss the clip. One of his affiliates tweeted, "You're really believing AI now?" Awesome. But notice, they didn't deny the DM leak. They only addressed the audio. That silence spoke louder than words. Meanwhile, Baby's camp. Dead quiet. No tweets. No IG posts. Not even Brie. Just radio silence while the internet spun out of control. And when people go that quiet, it makes the theory feel even more real. By the end of the week, the streets weren't asking, "Did Offset betray Baby?" anymore. They were asking, "Did the label set this all up?" Think about it. If the studio footage really got wiped, who has that kind of power? Not just one cousin, not just Offset. We're talking label executives, managers, people with money and influence. And suddenly, the King Von tragedy didn't feel like an isolated story anymore. Fans were dragging it back into the conversation, whispering that maybe Von's death, this Baby Offset tension, and the sudden AI clip were all part of the same web. Because in this game, nothing is ever just music. And when you mix betrayal, paranoia, AI deepfakes, and money, the story gets darker every single day. If the internet was already treating this saga like a Netflix doc, what happened next felt like the mid-season climax, because the whispers turned into real-world smoke. Rumors started circulating that Offset's crew and Baby's people ran into each other at Magic City, one of Atlanta's most infamous late-night playgrounds. Normally, rappers crossing paths in a strip club ain't headline news, but in this climate, it felt like the whole city held its breath. The first clue came from a shaky iPhone video posted to a burner Twitter account. The clip showed a crowded corner of Magic City. Dim lights, blurred faces, phones up everywhere. In the background, you can clearly hear voices arguing. One voice, allegedly from Offset's side, yells, "Don't touch him till it's handled." Bruh. The second people heard that line, they lost it. The phrase instantly echoed the original 4-second leak. Fans clipped the audio, spliced it with Michi's "Don't let him leave alone," and suddenly Twitter was calling it part 2 of the setup. What made it worse? No punches were thrown, no bottles smashed, just shouting, pointing, and heavy tension. And sometimes that's scarier, because when crews walk away instead of exploding, it usually means they're saving the real smoke for later. One fan at Magic City swore the energy was off. She tweeted, "Never seen so many chains tucked in that club. Security was tense, like they knew it could go left." That tweet hit 40k likes before she deleted it. And then the conspiracy got deeper. Because right after the clip went viral, a handful of burner accounts tied to both Baby's and Offset's fan circles suddenly went dark. Deleted, deactivated, whole pages gone overnight. Fans swore these were insider pages that had been leaking info for weeks. Now, silence. Like someone hit the kill switch. Blogs jumped on it. Say Cheese posted the Magic City clip with the caption, "Offset and Baby camps cross paths. Tension in ATL." Academics reacted on Twitch, sipping and laughing. Chat, they scared to throw hands. Y'all see it. This industry beef ain't like the streets. It's contracts and conspiracies now. But not everyone was laughing. Word around Atlanta was that club security doubled down after that night. Some insiders even claimed both camps were warned privately by promoters. "Y'all can't be in the same room right now. Too hot." The confrontation also cracked open a new layer of paranoia. Fans started speculating. If that Magic City line was real, "Don't touch him till it's handled," then what exactly was waiting to be handled? Was this about music royalties? Was it about QC loyalty? Or was it about Von all over again, with old wounds bleeding back into the present? And while fans were dissecting every frame, Offset posted a cryptic IG story, a photo of dice and money on a table with the caption, "Life a gamble, play it smart." Baby, hours later, posted a black screen with a simple, "On it." Neither confirmed the confrontation, neither denied it, which only made the streets talk louder. The scariest part, everybody felt like this was just the warm-up. The club was the spark, But the fire hadn't started yet. Because when two heavyweight camps cross paths, exchange words, and then walk away without resolution, that's not peace, that's pressure building. Pressure that can only be released in one of two ways, a diss track or real violence. And the way the internet was hyping it up, it felt like whichever way it broke, the whole culture was going to be watching in real time. After the Magic City moment, everybody expected fireworks, diss tracks, press statements, messy subtweets. Instead, nothing, absolute silence. And that silence felt louder than gunshots. Neither Offset nor Lil Baby said a word. No interviews, no tweets, no subliminals beyond the usual cryptic dots and dice emojis. Their camps went ghost. IG lives dried up. Even academics admitted on stream. Chat, this the first time both sides quiet at the same time. That's scary. The first signs of fallout came in the form of digital breadcrumbs. Fans noticed people inside the circle quietly unfollowing each other. Offset's cousin Michi, who the whole saga started with, deleted his entire Instagram. Wiped clean, no posts, no followers, nothing but a blank page. That alone had fans screaming, "He hiding something!" Then, Baby's close affiliate unfollowed one of Offset's managers. Tiny moves, but in this era, every unfollow is treated like a declaration of war. Even QC's official accounts started acting weird. For years, they reposted everything Baby touched. Suddenly, Baby's new promo posts weren't getting amplified. Offset's name was barely being mentioned either. It felt like the label was tiptoeing around a landmine, waiting to see who moved first. The streets felt it too. Clubs where both camps used to overlap, dead quiet now. Promoters stopped booking them for the same nights. Security in Atlanta whispered that two cities existed inside one, Baby's side and Offset's side, and they weren't crossing paths anytime soon. Meanwhile, fans were starving for answers. Reddit threads exploded with theories like, they got NDAs in place, that's why nobody talking. Somebody's lawyer told them to shut up until contracts are fixed. The silence means the diss track is loading. TikTok. Edits started popping up with captions like the calm before the storm. Videos of Baby staring blankly at his phone were looped with ominous music, while Offset's fake smiles were cut together with slow zooms. But here's what made the silence scarier. It wasn't just protecting feelings, it felt tactical. Like both sides knew saying the wrong thing could spark something they couldn't control. Old heads in Atlanta whispered that this was the Von effect. Everybody remembered how Von's death turned from street fight to national headline overnight. Nobody wanted to be the one who lit the match this time, so they stayed quiet, moved in silence, and let the internet go crazy instead. But silence has a way of amplifying tension, and the longer the camps stayed quiet, the more the fans filled in the blanks with conspiracies, memes, and paranoia. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Offset and Baby not saying nothing is scarier than if they dropped diss tracks. Silence mean plotting, and the worst part? Everybody agreed, because in this game, silence ain't peace. Silence is strategy. Silence is the sound of people sharpening their knives behind closed doors. And right now, the entire culture felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for somebody, anybody, to break the silence. For somebody, anybody, to break the silence. So let's run it back, because this story went from messy to downright sinister in record time. We started with a leaked 4-second clip. Michi's alleged, "Don't let him leave alone." That little whisper turned Twitter into a war zone. Then Bree, Baby's assistant, poured gasoline on the fire with her shady IG story. Offset quietly unfollowed Baby. Yachty accidentally liked a betrayal tweet, and suddenly, the internet was connecting dots like detectives on Adderall. From there, the emotional cracks started showing. Baby tweeting, "I'm good off everybody." Offset posting fake laughing studio clips. QC insiders picking quiet sides. The vibe wasn't brotherhood anymore, it was survival mode. Then the story twisted darker. An AI clip of Offset allegedly plotting, plus a leaked DM suggesting somebody paid $5K to erase studio footage. Fans weren't just talking betrayal, they were screaming label-level sabotage. By the time Offset's crew and Baby's camp crossed paths at Magic City, you could feel the danger. Shouts of, "Don't touch him till it's handled," echoed the original leak, sending chills through the culture. And when the dust settled, nobody spoke. Not Baby, not Offset, not QC. Just silence, unfollows, and blank pages where IG feeds used to be. So what does it all mean? Is this the start of a full-blown war? Is the label moving chess pieces we can't see? Or is this all smoke and mirrors? The internet spinning conspiracies out of paranoia and silence. Either way, one thing's clear. The King Von story ain't closed. If anything, Lul Tim's new claims just rip the wound back open. But I want to know what you think. Was this a setup, a betrayal, or just rap politics at its messiest? Drop your theory in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe. Because trust me, the next chapter in this saga, it could drop any second. And when it does, we'll be right here breaking it all down.